Okay, I'm back. We're gonna finish this. So let's talk about what we've done so far. We're trying to basically make, where was it? This guy? No, that's me. Not you. Not you. Make this. We're making this box right here. We just made a button that we don't see right here, but if you recall from the first one, it appeared when it was usable, and that's going to be something that happens via JavaScript because that's some functionality. We're just working on the look of it right now, and sometimes that takes a while. If you remember, I was trying to drop the submit button down and it wasn't working. I was just messing around with that. Look, and that was in. And I said use the text align property. I set it at 50%. I set it at 200%, which is way more than I was expecting to set it at. It's going to center it. It's testing me. I also put the 0 here. And hey, I know what everyone is thinking. Why does this say index? I don't know. So I'm going to rename this file. How do you do that? Rename. I'm just going to get rid of the X. I think that'll do it. I don't know what that does to this. If I hit refresh here, your file was not found because I'm just going to close this. We're going to open this up. There we go. And now, that thing I said that would happen magically if I did the text align. No, that's not what I meant. Line height. Line height. 200%. There. That's and about. Also, let's say you don't like this this text. I mean, for me, everything looks good to me. Square buttons. Some people are like, you gotta have the rounded edges. You gotta have a shadow. I can't dress myself. I don't know what colors look good. But I do know how to change the clothes. So let's pick a different a font for this. I'm pretty sure this is going to be the only word on here. Actually, if we have some directions, maybe there'll be more words. So let's pick a font. The way to do that, I'm going to open a new window in Chrome, and I'm going to just take the whole window for a second. And if we do font.google, yeah, this guy. These are Google fonts. Here's different fonts we can use. If I want to incorporate one of these into this guy, let's just use this one. I don't know if no, you know what? I don't want that one. This is so hard for me. I'm going to use this one, this skinny one right here. I'm going to click the plus. This thing showed up down here, so it gives me this little line right here. And it gives me this right here. I need both of these in my code. So I'm going to highlight all that, Command C. I'm going to go back to my code, into my index. And right here, this link, it says my style sheet controls what font I use. So I'm going to put a line in the style sheet that says use this particular font. So I'm putting this above that, so when this reads it, it knows where to find the font. So now let's go back into the style sheet, main.css, and inside of the body, we're going to say use this font family. This is called the font stack. It says use this Fajal 1, and if you can't find that, use the sans serif. This one's built in, so if you can't find the first one, use the second one. So Command C, copying that line, and I'm going to do Command Option back to just half the screen. Where were we that again? And in the body, I'm going to tell what font family to use. And you might be thinking, we're not in the body, we're in the button. Well, the button's in the whatever, that's in the whatever, that's in the whatever, that's in the body. So this is going to cascade down, kind of. That's not really why they have the word cascading in there. Into this after I save it. See that blue button? Command S, refresh, and look, what an awesome font. Okay, you might want to change the color of this button as well. I had an idea on that one. What was I swear I did. It was a linear gradient, which of course you were expecting me to say. I'm just going to copy this and we're going to modify it. but where was the submit button? Background color gray, I don't want this anymore. Command V. I want to say, let's make it from CC to, let's just make it to gray. Back to EY spelling. Oh, so that's it. Here's another thing. Why not do the box shadow? Box sizing. Let's go to box shadow tab. We're going to put a shadow around it. We can control where we put it. I'm going to put 2 pixels, 4 pixels, and white. So what that says is make it 2 pixels this way, 2 pixels this way, blur that 4 pixels, and make that a white shadow versus a black shadow. Refresh. We could change it to a black shadow. BLACK. Command S. I think I like this. I'm gonna hit Command Z just to remind you that it's not that fast. Okay. I'm not gonna worry too much about it right now. Let's worry about this thing right here. Back in my index.html, that was this that I commented out. This is my answer. I'm just gonna, and you know what? There's gonna be nothing in here, so I'm just gonna go like this. Command C. You gotta make an answer thing in my div in the answer container, the answer box. Okay, if you're a smarty pants and you're watching me and you're thinking, you know what, there is a way better way to do this, and it's called Sass. You are absolutely right. But I don't want to overwhelm people. I mean, this is Sass. This is just poor done Sass, but it is well done CSS. Anyway, so inside of this, I'm going to make another box. So I want to see the box, so I'm going to draw it. And I'm going to give it I'm just going to copy these 3 lines, Command C, Command V. If you remember this padding right here, it's affecting this thing as well. So it's a block, but I don't want it, I want it to be 70% of that box. And I want to margin, so see, look, did you see that? Did you see that? It went from, oh, let's go back. It says that, but if I put the N, okay, so don't put the N. That's the trick. Tab, it auto-completed to margin, yes. 0 on the top and the bottom, and a UTO on the left and right. Let's see what that looks like. Ooh, well, that's because it says height 10%. What if we made it a height 100%? Okay, I actually don't want to have a height 100%, I guess. I guess I want it to come down to here. So let's what a height, I don't know, 80%? 8, there's that 800 again. Okay, and the coloring on it. I think I had coloring. Did I use the same as the coloring on this? I had some pre-picked stuff, but I think I just used that. I think I used exactly this for my coloring. Command C. And what was I working on? The answer box, the actual answer. You know, maybe I did it the other way around. I just went, I'll call this gray, start gray at the top, and go down to that. What happens if I leave the gray? Let's just see what happens with that. Ooh, it's kind of cool, but it's not what I want right now. Let's try that. Okay, we're going to leave it like that until I have a better idea. I also want to give it some shadow, but I only want to give it shadow right here. Let's just box shadow 2px. I think this is the right. I might need to switch these twos. One I want to go 2, one I want to go 0. And then I want to blur it, so say 4px, and then I also want to make it white. And if it appears at the bottom, then I'm going to switch these 2 parameters. Command S to save it. Do that. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Let's get rid of this answer box. Command S. Look at that. Maybe that could be even bigger than 70. Maybe we can make that 80. Command S. But you know what? You can tweak these things back and forth for hours. So I'm going to work on this part. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Back in the index.html. This is in the guest container. This is my guest container. I want to give it room for 10 different guesses. So this is 80%. So I don't call each one 8%. I'm still going to call one 10% because it's 10% of this. It's supposed to know that. Sometimes you swear it doesn't. So inside of there, I'm going to have a, you know what? This doesn't need to be flexor. I thought I was so smart. I'm going to command exit, which means I'm going to cut it. And I'm going to make this one the flexor because this is just going to be the row. The row is going to have several things in it. It's going to have a guess portion. So I'm going to have a guess row. It's going to have the guess here on the left and the grade on the right. So it's going to be a flex because the guess. So I didn't catch that. This is going to have the. I already have guest container. Man, got to call it something else. Guess. I want to call it guest container. Okay. Guess pegs, plural, and it's definitely going to be a flex box, man. And this is going to be the not the grade dash none equals dash pegs, and it's also going to be a flex box, but there's something about that flex box that's going to be different. So for now, we're going to make a row. And inside of that row, we're going to have two boxes, and it's going to be right here, and it should be just the top 10% of this. So let's start with, we have guess row, guess pegs, and grade pegs. Let's start with this. I'm going to do a command C, and this is inside of the guess container. Guess container dot command V. Oh, you know what? I hate it when these things don't line up. I'm highlighting these. I'm hitting command back. There's a bracket, and it unindents. I did them all together. So this row, the height is we're going to call it 10%. The width is the whole kit and caboodle. We got to put the percent there. Let's put a box around it, just so we can see it. I'll just put that right there. Let's make it red for no particular reason. And I think that's all that particular thing needs. I'm saving that, and there that is. And we are going to get rid of, you know what? I might not get rid of this. So what I'm going to do is I am really going to put this in there. Command C, Command V. And if you watch very closely, these little red lines will shift when I hit refresh. After I hit Command S to save this, okay, when I hit refresh. I saw it. Okay, back to the index. So now we have the guess pegs and the grade pegs. Command C. And I am a horrible typer, so I do a lot of copy paste. I made a big science of it. See, I only typed in 4 letters there. Guess pegs. This is the pegs, not each peg. Inside of the guess pegs, there's going to be a guess peg or 4 guess pegs. This is flexor. And it's already called that. What am I even doing here? So the height is HEI is going to be 100%. The width is going to be 70%. I think 70% is good. I think that was what I wanted. And we're going to draw a box on it. Command C, Command V, get rid of that dead space. Let's make this a white box because I just want to make sure we see it. On the grade pegs, we're going to do the same thing, Command C, and we're going to put it there, Command V. We're going to make this 30 wide, so that one's this one is 70, this one is 30. And refresh. There they are. Just to show you what would happen if I didn't have that flexor in there, I'm going to go back. So Command S, escape. These are inside. What did I put it inside the row? Where did I put that in? I made these inside of the guess row, and I gave that a flexor. So it's not a flexor anymore. When I hit refresh, it stacks them. So I hope that little demonstration was all it took. Now I'm going to hit Command Z. Hope that little demonstration was all it took to make you understand the beauty of Flexbox. Refresh. Okay, so in here, I want to have my pegs, and I want to make them round. So we're going to put divs in there, which are generally square, but there's a way to make them round. And here we're going to have 4 divs, but we're going to stack them 2 and 2, and they're going to be round circles on top of circles, something like that. So this is going good. So this says flex. It should say flexer, tab. So let's make one of these things. Div tab, and this is a peg. Can I just call it a peg? I'm gonna because there's 2 kinds of peg because these have different kinds of pegs. I'm gonna call this a guess GUESS dash PEG. Okay, versus guess pegs. Is that gonna confuse anybody besides me? So under guess pegs, dot Command V. The width. Well, you might think that's easy, it's 25%, you want to have 4 of them. And I'm going to go with that. I am, but we're probably going to modify that. The height, HEIGHT, well, I want to have it from here to here, so that's 100%. And now the trick to that, well, let's just stop right there. Well, not right there. Let's put a border in. Let's make it so we can see these things. Let's make these, I don't know, pink. Let's see what we're just going to have one. There it is. Now watch the beauty of border radius. Border radius. I'm going to put like 10%, and that's going to. This isn't going to make it round yet, but it's going to bend these in. I just want you to see it made these rounded corners. By the time it gets to 50. And you get to make a circle, and that's because of this 25%. If I made it, I don't know, 21%, this would happen. Oh, and that's circular, but that would take up 84%, and we still have 16%. Well, in this guess row, the guess pegs, this parent container, I want to scoot it over anyway. In fact, there's a few things I want to do. I'm going to make this width 24%. I'm going to give them a margin. Not right there. Not right there. Margin. Oh, I forgot the trick. Margin of top and bottom is 0. Left and right is, ooh, you know what? I think I just decided. Get this. I want margin left. Is 1 text only on the left side. I tried doing that and did it. Okay. Command S. Did you see anything even happen? Oh, I didn't. You barely saw that happen. You barely saw it. It got bigger. Oh, that's because I went to 24 from 21. I'm going to put 4 of these in here. Since nothing's going inside of them, I just ended the div right here. And I'm going to put 3 more. Okay, and that worked. But what if we just put a little space between them? Come on. And what if I like them round? Because right here, I'm going to give it some padding. So the parent thing is the pegs, the guess pegs. I'm going to give that some padding, some left and right padding. Got to go to my main CSS. guess pegs, plural. P-A-D-D-I-N-G. It's doing the same thing. Tab. On the top and bottom, I want 0. On the left and right, I want 5%. Is that greedy? Let's see what that looks like. Okay. On the guess peg, on the left margin, I say give me a pixel, 1 pixel, but that didn't do very much at all. I think I want to say 1%. Well, didn't do very much still. And it's not round, so I'm going to put 23 and 2%. There we go. There we go. And honestly now, on the guess pegs, I'm going to get rid of this white box. And in a second, after I get this figured, I'm going to get rid of the red box too, and get rid of this white box. This is the grade pegs. This is where, so we're going to have 4 again, like, you know, in a box. And index.html, it's a flexor. And we're going to do something like this. I'm just going to copy this, Command C, Command V, come on, tab. And this is not a guess. It's a grade. Command C, copy that. Go to my main CSS, grade pegs, Command V. Okay. These, they're 50% wide, but only 50% tall. So width, 50%. Height, 50%. Actually, we want to draw them. So we have the width, the height, the border radius. Let's make them pink as well, just for now. Okay. Refresh. There is 1, and you see it is not round at all. So you think 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, this is a good learning experience. If you're wondering why this just popped down, Command S, if I'm over here and I hit Command S, it saves it. If I ever hit Command S over here, it tries to save this HTML. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I hit cancel. Whenever you see that, it's because I screwed up. What were we going over? Putting 4 of these in. Over here in index. So we're just going to copy and paste this. Command C, enter Command V, enter Command V, enter Command V, Command S. Now we're going to refresh that. Oh, what happened? Why didn't these are 50%. Why didn't it go 50%? They're round now, and that's kind of nice, but I want them to wrap. Oh, well, and then there's I'm going to go to a website here. It's called CSS Tricks, and I'm just doing keywords, and I put flex because this is how I find it. I never go to the actual website. Okay, I'm going to make this full screen, a complete guide to Flexbox. And the terminology, they show you these cool things. Here's this display flex, and it's showing what it went from this to that. I don't know what's showing actually. Flex grow. Flex wrap. This is the one we want. The parent container, give it a flex wrap property and you can give it wrap. And I'm even going to copy that word right there. Command C is the flex wrap. Command, make that half screen again. Where were we? Right there. Back over here. So it's the parent container that needs that. Flex wrap. Wrap. So what this is saying is, if something in there spills over the edge, instead of making them smaller, feel free to wrap it around. Let's see if that worked. Is grade pegs a flex container? I don't know. I don't know. Well, let's look at that first. Grade pegs is a flexor. Grade peg. You know, sometimes because this is 50% plus this, it says maybe this is a wrap because this is like a little more than 50% because you got to count the line in there. So what if I just make a peg at 40? Yep, that was it. Okay, they're still not round though. But see this box right here? This is the grade pegs. If I do the same thing I did up here with the guest pegs, and I'm going to do this padding thing. Command C, grade pegs, Command V, Command S. I did a little, and it scooted that over. I don't think that 50% I'm liking. The height, what? I mean, should we do this? But what is that? I'm just going to copy it. Command C. Let's see how it's spilling down a little bit. I'm going to put that right there. Command S. I'm going to refresh. That brought it there. They're not round. Do they need to be round? Well, one thing we could do is we can make them like let's say 37, and we can do a margin. In fact, a margin left of 3%. How's that? That's going to put some space between them. Did it? Did it? Is there 3% between them? We got room for more. We could put in 5%. Yeah, there's. And what about in the top and the bottom? But well, let's get rid of this white box. And S. Let's get rid of the red box. No, let's not. Let's not get rid of it yet. I think I actually do want to keep these circle colors here, so I'm not going to name them pink. For the pegs, I'm going to make them black. B-L-A-C-K. I'm going to give those a black border, and these are going to have a white border. Those were the guest pegs, so let's just make it white. W-H-I-T-E. Command S. Refresh. And what's next? We want to make the rest of, this is one row. We say we got 10 rows. What's it going to take over here? Well, it's just going to, see this guest row, this row, we called it a row even. We need 10 of those, so I'm going to hit Command C. Start right here. Go to my row. Command C. I'm going to go right there. Command V. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It was doing something weird with that scooting back. I got 10 of those. I'm going to full screen this. Command Option F. What in the world did you do? Every time it indented one more time. That's horrible. So remember the brackets. This is really annoying. And you might think like, well, why don't you do it off screen? Because I just had that thought. I feel like I'm almost done now. I feel like I am. Okay, all right. I am going to do this off screen. This is just bad television. Okay, but we know what the problem is. So when I come back, this is going to be like that. But hey, let's look at what we got. Command Option, that arrow. We got this. We got all these red lines definitely have to go, but I think some sort of line should be there. So in fact, before I go, I was going to end this here, but I'm going to give that a line. What is this on? This is on the, is it the guest row? This red. So I'm going to have this border dash bottom. So already that just gets it, breaks it. Really, what the hell are these? Oh, do you know what these are? Command Option F. Command Option F. Okay. Look. What is that? What is that? That was one of them. That's 2 of them. Command S. Okay. I don't remember doing that. That scared me a little bit. Okay, so we put that red line. That's only on the bottom now. It's not on the sides. Do I want it even there? I just don't want it red. Let's make it a. But I really want it. I barely want it at all. I know without it, these are going to look like they're just a big stack. But I just want barely any line there. So the color we can give it is like one of these colors. It'll be very discreet. I mean, it's there. Is that too discreet? Now let's get rid of these black lines. Let's get rid of the black lines. Those were on the very first element of each one. Get rid of that, which means we can get rid of that. And the next one was, we can get rid of that, and get rid of that. And I don't like having more code than I need. And then that leads to the question, why don't you do this in Sass then? Okay, I think I like it. I think I like it. Maybe this is a little too whatever the word is, you can't see it. Let's make this CC and FF. I think I like it. I think I like it. But we can still change it. So in the next video, we're going to put in these colors down here. We're going to do some other color besides blue. We might do some change the looks of this one way or another. But I will see you soon.